Good morning, everybody. Wow, wasn't that some video? You're all very welcome. I'm Catherine Comiskey, Professor in Healthcare Statistics at Trinity College Dublin, and I'd like to welcome you to Charm EU. And Charm EU, you've just seen, is a challenge-driven, accessible, research-based, mobile European university. And we're delighted to present it to you today. It's an alliance across 5 universities. It's very unique. The 5 universities are the University of Barcelona, University of Montpellier, University of Utrecht, ELTE in Budapest, and Trinity College Dublin. And we're here today to share with you our first ever European-wide, across the 5 universities, Masters in Global Challenges in Sustainability. We have a great group lined up for you for the next 50 minutes. They're going to share with you their experiences. They're going to share with you details of this new Masters. It's so innovative. We're really excited about it, and we're delighted that you could join us today. Our first speaker today is Jake. He's based at Trinity College Dublin. And Jake is going to talk about the actual program and the details, because I'm sure you'd be interested in that. He'll be followed then by Jan, who's going to speak to us from Utrecht, and he's going to talk about the learning experience. It's quite different. It's very exciting. It's like nothing I've seen before. We're really excited about it. Then we'll be joined by Patricia from Montpellier, and Patricia's going to talk about the idea of transversal skills and how this program is very much transdisciplinary, and she'll explain that to you. Then we're joined by Lucy, who's going to speak about mobility and what are the opportunities for mobility, because we are an alliance of 5 universities. Then Agnes is going to talk about inclusion, and this is really close to our heart. It's one of our key fundamental principles, is inclusion. Then we'll be joined by Eugenia, who is our student. Well, we have a whole student representative group, and today Eugenia is going to talk about the student journey and the student perspective for you. And then finally, we'll be joined by the wonderful Meritchelle, who keeps us all together, who's based in Barcelona, and she's going to talk about the admissions process. How do you apply? What do you have to do to become part of this? Then finally, for the last few minutes, we'll have questions and answers. So we're delighted you could join us. We'd like to thank Nicole for that wonderful video. And I believe, Nicole, you might have another video to share with us before we get started. So welcome, everybody. Thank you, Nicole.
Bye-bye.
Charm EU represents a challenge-driven, accessible, research-based and mobile model for the co-creation of a new European university, aligned with European values and committed to the European Green Deal and the Sustainable Development Goals. 5 prestigious universities connected in an exchange network with a total of more than 170,000 students and 20,000 professionals. They come together to create a unique educational model based on the knowledge square: education, research, innovation, and business and society. Charm EU's main objective is to offer the skills and knowledge to understand and solve the biggest global challenges facing humanity. Understanding these challenges as an opportunity to collaborate from different areas and perspectives is transdisciplinarity, the central axis of our system and the pillar of all our values. We are facing an era of great challenges and require a new generation of leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs that will encourage business and change society. Are you ready to change the world?
Thank you, Nicole. So you see another great video, and really that video explains to you our values and where we're coming from and we want to change the world with your help. So we'll get right in. We'll get started. We'll ask Jake from Trinity College Dublin to join us now. And as I said, Jake, you're very welcome. And you're going to talk to us today about program details. Thank you, Jake.
Thanks, Catherine. Yeah, so I'm Jake Byrne from Trinity College, and I'm going to walk through some basic practical information, and then I'll give a brief overview about the program, the types of students that we're looking for, potential career paths and opportunities, and then give a sort of a brief overview of the actual structure of the master's program. See my slides there. So yeah, next slides there, please. And next, please. Next slide, please, there. Brilliant. So this is some practical information about the master's program. So as you've heard, this is a master's in global challenges for sustainability. The starting date is September 2021. It'll be 18 months in duration. It'll be 90 ECTS credits in total. The official language of the program is going to be in English. The application date and the deadline, and this is an important one as well, it says the 15th of April. So it's not too much time from now. The model will be blended and hybrid. So that means that we'll be sort of a mobility, virtual mobility, as well as physical mobility. And the website is www.charm-eu.eu. So that's some useful information there for getting additional information around the program. Next slide, please.
I think there's a slight delay on the slides, but we're getting there.
So I just wanted to talk a little bit about the graduate attributes. So these are sort of on successful completion of the master's program. Students should be able to develop creative and critical thinking skills, research and evaluate complex societal challenges from different stakeholders and intercultural perspectives, assess and integrate different disciplinary and transdisciplinary knowledge and research methodologies, demonstrate expertise in the identification and application of the latest technology tools to source, analyze, handle, use, and communicate complex bodies of data ethically, acquire expertise and communicate effectively on very complex issues, formulate an advanced understanding of transdisciplinarity, and demonstrate expertise in the facilitative, communicative, reflexive, and collaborative skills to support its practice. And finally, to acquire advanced transversal competencies in problem solving, entrepreneurialism, innovation, digital skills, and lifelong learning disposition. So these are sort of a wide range of skills that the students should be able to master by the end of this program. Next slide, please. So in terms of student profiles, we're looking for a very diverse group of students to be part of this program. As was mentioned in the videos, we're looking at the Sustainable Development Goals and the European Green Deal, and in each of these, we're dealing with very complex problems, and we're looking for solutions. And as part of that, we need a very diverse set of skills and disciplines, and even cultural backgrounds as well, to be able to input into this. So although I've sort of listed here a number of potential disciplinary backgrounds that we're looking for, it's not limited to these, but they might be sustainability studies, engineering, and that could be any type of engineering, mechanical, civil, electronic, and so on. Social sciences, philosophy, design, journalism, communications, natural sciences, psychology, business studies, history, computer science, or health science, medicine, pharmacology, and so on. But again, this is not limited to that. But in addition to that, we are looking for quite a diverse set of cultural backgrounds as well, because perspectives are very important for solving these problems. Next slide, please. So in terms of career opportunities, these are just some potential opportunities that we've identified. But again, even in the videos as well, there's green jobs of the future that we don't even know what they are at the moment, and these are in formation all the time. So even in a year's time, there could be new jobs that are popping up that we will be preparing you for with this master's program. So some ideas of potential opportunities might be sustainability specialist, communication specialist, social innovation analyst, sustainable entrepreneur, if you want to go and create your own business, project manager, international consultant, researcher, or academic positions. So there's again, this isn't all of them, but it's some ideas. So in terms of career pathways, these are sort of potential sort of ideas that we've identified. So might be influencing sort of sustainability policy and communication roles, social innovation and action, either within existing companies. So that'd be entrepreneurship. So if you're working within a company, you can innovate, or creating new enterprises. Managers with the ability to deal with complex issues from sustainability perspective, and to advise company senior management on sustainability matters. So again, it's about sort of how do you deal with these complex issues and manage those within an organization. And again, as well, an alternate is if you wish to pursue a academic pathway, there's opportunities there. Particularly, actually, since there's 5 institutions, you would have potential choice as well to apply to each of those institutions for continuing if you wanted to go on to do a PhD, for example. Next slide, please. So now this is just a brief overview of the actual structure of the master's program. So we've split it into 3 phases. It was sort of touched on briefly in one of the videos, but I'll walk through it in a little bit more detail. So again, this is sort of 3 semesters. So over the first year, you'll be doing phase 1 and phase 2, and then in the second year, which would be leading into the 18 months, would be the final phase 3. So in phase 1, we've got the preparatory phase, which is made up of 3 main modules. So those modules are 10 credits each, and they are social innovation, sustainability, and transdisciplinary research. And the idea here is you'll be working with what was called a phase 1 content creating team, and which I'm a member of. And the idea is that you'll get a basis in sort of transversal skills that will be applied and be needed for phases 2 and 3. So once you complete that in the first semester, you will then progress on to phase 2, and there's sort of 3 tracks that are sort of themes that you can choose from within phase 2. So those are life and health, water, and food. So you'll select one of those themes, and there'll be opportunities as well potentially to for mobility as part of that. But I'll leave that to my colleagues later, who will talk about that in a little bit more detail. But essentially, you might be able to travel to one of the Alliance partners to study that theme there. And again, around each of these themes, there is what we're calling knowledge creating teams of academics and extra academic actors who will be working with you through these themes. Then finally, once you've gained the knowledge in phase 2, there'll be a final phase 3, which will be the capstone. And this will be a 30-credit module, and it will be essentially working on projects with extra academic actors, as well as the academics within the university. So those could be, business community members and from civil society as well. And the idea would be you'd choose challenges that are relevant to yourselves, so that'll be authentic and situated learning, and obviously focused on working on the European Green Deal and the Sustainable Development Goals. And so that will be culminate in a final project, which you'll be able to shape to your interests and the topics that are of interest to you as well. So the idea will be working together in a team to solve a global challenge. So that's the end of my presentation. So I will, I believe,
Great.
leave it there. And
fabulous. Thank you, Jake. That's excellent. And it's fabulous to see the different disciplines that you're interested in recruiting, as you say, from languages to communication and so forth. It's wonderful and great to see this 3-phase structure and the flexibility. Thank you for sharing that with us, Jake. Lovely. We'll move on now because we're keeping an eye on our time, and we're going to move on to Jan now. And Jan is coming from the University of Utrecht, and Jan is going to speak to us about the actual learning experience. And you'll see that it's quite different and very novel, and I think you're going to really enjoy that. Thank you, Jan.
Yes, thank you, Catherine and Jake, for this first introduction. Learning experience. My name is Jan Hares. I'm from Utrecht University in the Netherlands, and I'm in this project from the very beginning, January 2019. I'm really excited and thrilled that we now come to the end of the preparation of this master program, and I'm really excited that we now are going to deliver our master program, and it is based on new concepts, new didactic approach, and that is based on scientific knowledge. And I will go to this learning experience with you. We build on educational principles, and we have a few of them. I will mention them: sustainability, challenge-driven, and student-centered. It's very difficult to see. The research-led, research-based, and in the center of these principles, there's the transdisciplinary approach. Multidisciplinary stakeholders will be involved with you. And the educational principles are based on scientific knowledge, and we will lead and support educational experience of our students. Next slide, please. Yes. What can you, as a student, expect from this master program? We will deliver an active and interactive teaching and learning environment. And we know that when students become active, they learn much more than we are passive. And we will deliver engaged with authentic problems. And we know that when we deliver authentic problems, that the students will become much more motivated to learn with new things and come with new solutions. We have a unique assessment approach, which comes along the complete master program. No teaching to the test. We will guide the students and give them feedback on their personal and professional growth. And they will be supported by mentors throughout this master program. And of course, there are intercultural interactions. That's logically with 5 universities, with 5 different nationalities, and all different disciplines come together. And then self-study, but also group work to gain content knowledge is a very important part. Next slide, please. And then the main basic of our master program is challenge-based learning, real-life challenges. When students are working on global, real-world, authentic challenge, they are much more motivated to really work on these authentic problems. We will have a variety of actors who will be involved. So the teachers will be supported by external stakeholders from business and society. And the students will work on tangible output, new process, new ideas, new solutions to make our world better. And there will be teachers, students, and external stakeholders who work together as partners. Next slide, please. And we will have a variety of themes, of challenges. I just mentioned a few, or show you a few of them: obesity, loneliness, pandemics, privacy, and data ethics. And all these challenges will be worked on by a team of students from different disciplines and supported by teachers, academics, external stakeholders, also from different disciplines. And next slide, please. Of course, you will be supported by top experts of our universities and top experts from out of the world. So if students need specific knowledge from specific expertise, we will deliver on demand of the students and we will give them that support. Next slide, please. And of course, we work with engaged technology, new technology, which can be, oh, that's the previous, please, if possible. We will have some examples of teaching innovations. So we will work with virtual, augmented reality, sustainability game, all that kind of new technology. When it is supportive to the teaching, we will deliver and use these technologies. New slide, next slide, please. And then when it comes to the way of our teaching, where we have 5 campuses in our universities, and the students can choose one of those campuses, and they also can switch during the master program to go to another campus and work and teach and learn on that campus. And they will meet their peers on campus and online together and engage in education at the same time. Next slide, please. And and all of our students will be engaged with peers, and there will be a lot of collaborative and group work. Students from different disciplines and different backgrounds will come together with their teachers and external stakeholders. They will be online and in hybrid collaborations, and of course we also deliver social intercultural activities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jan. Isn't it great to see this active learning? And it's so new, it's fabulous, and lovely to see those potential challenges, but also, as you say, opportunities for other challenges. Really wonderful. Thank you, Jan. I'm just looking at our time, so we'll move on. And our next speaker is Patricia. And Patricia is from the University of Montpellier. Good morning, Patricia. And Patricia's going to... Good morning. Patricia's going to talk about the transversal skills and assessment. And again, you're going to see something new here. Thank you, Patricia.
Hello, everybody. I'm Patricia Kuki from Montpellier, and I will be teaching in the first phase and mentoring some of you during the whole master. Our master, next slide, please. Our master is based on a competency approach. That means that the activity and the exam are aligned with its competencies. As it is a transdisciplinary master, these competencies are transversal competency. At the end of the master, you will have at least a level 3 in solving problem, sustainability, transdisciplinarity, collaboration, communication, scholarship, professional and personal development. Next slide, please. Each competency will be evaluated by several assessments according to the principle of an innovative evaluation method, the programmatic assessment that Jan spoke to you just before. For each of these exams, you will get a personal feedback. So each point you see in this graph will be the assessment for one of competency, and if you click on it in this point, you will see a personal feedback. And you have that in e-portfolio. In this portfolio, next slide, please, will be used by a mentor. You will meet mentor twice by phase, and in each of this meeting, you will have a reflective approach on your progress and improvement and discussion with the mentor, how to improve and continue like that. And at the end of the programs, you have holistic evaluation of all of your competencies. It's not arithmetic average of all your grades, but very holistic with the feedback of your teacher, your reflection, and the feedback of the mentor will give you a level of each competency. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Again, great new approach there, programmatic assessment. And I love the e-portfolio because that's going to give you something to take away when you're finished your master's to show future employers, you know, how you have all of these skills and competencies. And the fact that you're supported by a mentor and this feedback, it's excellent. Thank you, Patricia. We're going to move on now to Lucy. And Lucy is going to talk to us about mobility. Lucy, morning, is based at ELTE in Budapest, and you're very welcome, Lucy. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the invitation. Hi, everyone. My name is Lucy Erdei. I'm coming from Eötvös Loránd University, Hungary. And I'm representing a group of really dedicated experts who are working hard on making a really innovative and comprehensive mobility system for you. The next slide, please. So how to imagine the mobility in the CHARMU Alliance? You as CHARMU students, but also all CHARMU staff will form one international university community between the 5 different universities. So you will have the possibilities to go on different mobilities during your entire learning path. We think that it's really important to tell you that we are not just thinking on mobilities from an individual point of view. We really think that mobilities need to be part of the curriculum, and it needs to enhance the learning path of the students. So there will be predefined mobility options that will be integrated into the curriculum, and it will help you to achieve the different learning outcomes, both on program level, but also on module level as well. So you will be able to choose from these different mobility opportunities and customize your own learning pathway. Nevertheless, you do not need to worry if you see that you do not need to go on a mobility in a given period of time. We are going to dedicate our work to integrate all students who are currently mobile and those who are staying at their universities. So not just mobility is at the forefront of our work, but also all internationalization at home will be used as an important action in our work. So how to think about mobility in our work? We will organize physical mobilities, as you could already experience in your bachelor studies, but also we will enable you to go for blended mobilities where there is a mix of virtual components and physical, mostly short-term visits. And we will also offer you virtual exchange possibilities to collaborate with your peers across the 5 universities using all the digital technologies, what has been mentioned by my colleagues earlier on. Also, we think that mobilities need to customize in terms of their length. So you will be able to travel for shorter mobilities, for mid-length and longer comprehensive mobilities, but we will always keep the sustainability principles in our minds. So you will be advised to take sustainable means of travel to be responsible and to align with the main goal of our master's program. And last but not least, it's really important to tell you that we are thinking that mobility is not just an individual opportunity. So we will give you possibilities to go on mobility in pairs or even in a group. And if you think about a group, in general, you think of a group of students, but given the fact that CHARMU is really innovative, you will have the possibility to travel with your lecturers, with your mentors, and with other staff from CHARMU. Last but not least, it's really important to tell you that we will advise students to go on mobility for at least one partner institution. But what we think is really important, that we will try to help you with different types of financial incentives. So we are going to help you with the Erasmus funding and other types of top-up grants. If you're really interested in how the CHARMU mobility will look like, we propose you search for some sort of exemplar scenarios that you can access on the charmu.eu website. So you can see that how we imagined, but please note that these are not the final mobilities that you can experience. These are just examples. You can see how we are thinking about that, but you will have much more customized options as soon as we are completely over of the curriculum. So I hope we will see you and you will experience this unique CHARMU mobility system.
Oh, thank you, Lucy. That's fabulous. Isn't it great that you're doing this individual or group or virtual, depending upon the needs? Because, you know, every master's candidate coming to us will be different. We'll have different situation and different needs. This is fabulous. Really great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lucy. We're going to move on now to Agnes. Agnes, also based in Budapest at ELTE, and Agnes is going to talk to us about inclusion. And again, this is a core value and principle of Charm EU, and we're delighted to welcome you, Agnes, to share this with us. Thank you, Agnes.
Thank you so much, and I'm delighted to be here and talk about inclusion and how it will be embedded in the Charm EU. So my name is Agnes. Please, next slide, please. My name is Agnes, and I'm coming from the Eötvös Loránd University, and I'm coordinating the work package 6 on inclusion with a wonderful team to make Charm EU as inclusive as possible. Please, next slide. So what is the most important? For us, inclusion is a core element in our program. So inclusion is one of the Charm EU's core values. And we strongly believe in the power of diversity. And we value and respect diversity. And we are committed to support equity of access and also participation. As we discussed the master program, we would like to highlight that Charm EU welcomes various applications and applicants who fulfill the master program specific requirements, regardless of their backgrounds, own lived experiences, and access needs. Please, next slide. Thank you. So we also know that higher education has been changing in the recent decades, and we also know that student population has been grown and their composition has been diversified. And we as well, we are up for the challenge as one of the big challenges for higher education on a global level to design an inclusive and teaching and learning environment that caters students' needs, various backgrounds, life experiences. And we are up for the challenge to promote an inclusive environment. And also we are creating this inclusive environment, not only for students, but the whole community of the Charm EU and the whole community. Thank you. Next slide, please. All right, so as it's written here, inclusive design is a core element. It is also a design that we are included in the educational principles that Jan was explaining. And the fundamental principle, basically, how we design is that one common core commonality is respect. And we also must understand and respect that we have all multiple identities and all kinds of circumstances. So we have committed that inclusion and diversity is in the heart of Charm EU's culture, design and delivery of the whole program and the whole through the program. Thank you. Next slide, please. Thank you. So collaboration is a key. And we are also aware of that collaboration can happen with all the stakeholders, with all the individuals. So we also highlight that nothing about us without us is the key. And we also can create an inclusive environment if we collaborate together. So we are also welcoming all students, all kinds of stakeholders to work on together towards a more inclusive Charm EU and the European higher education area. Please, next slide. Okay, so support is a core element in this whole process, and we are committed to provide the best learning experience for all and also create the appropriate structures and the services that cater students' access and participation. And I'm also delighted that we also have students who will also work with us to make sure that they are articulating their needs, and we can also work together. And it's a step-by-step journey, but I'm absolutely sure with this fantastic team that we can make Charm EU as an inclusive program. Thank you. And this was my bit. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Agnes. That's great. I loved when you started talking about respect. It's so, it's so close to my heart, and the values of inclusivity and collaboration and support. And we'll hear later on from Merit Shell when we're looking at the admissions that we also have included inclusivity there. So it certainly is a core value, and myself as academic director firmly, support this. And as I say, I just love it when you talked about respect. So thank you for sharing that, Agnes. I think it really demonstrated is one of our core values. We're moving on now to Eugenia, and Eugenia is from University of Barcelona, and she is one of our student representatives. It's lovely to see you, Eugenia, and you're going to provide us with a student perspective. So thank you, Eugenia.
Yes, hi everyone. Thank you, Catherine, and a warm welcome, especially to the students and also to everyone. Well, along with my colleagues, next slide, please. Along with my colleagues who study in the other partner universities, we have been working for students' rights in this program, and now we would like to emphasize those aspects that we believe might be of your interest. Here we've put a little list, and I will go one by one. First one, we believe that taking part in CharmEU will give us a unique training in our curriculum that just a few people in Europe will have. Thus, it will be a plus in our training with very low competition in the short run. Also, as my colleagues commented, the syllabus has been created from a multicultural base, taking into consideration the perspective from 5 different societies, which we take as another advantage. We believe this and further aspects I will explain in a minute are a huge added value that most master's degrees programs unfortunately don't have, but that CharmEU definitely has included. Moving to the next one, the program has been designed from a modern point of view, and it bears in mind the skills that we as students now, but workers in the future will be needing. That's why it goes deeper in these challenges that have more relevance in our society. As we will encounter with all kinds of challenges, different backgrounds of different educational fields will be needed. So don't hesitate if you are of any background to ask for information or be interested, because there will be for sure a place for you in CharmEU. Sustainability also, as my colleagues commented, has a key role in phases and modules. At the end of the day, sustainability is the future, and it's very likely that lots of us will end up working in it or for it. So we will need to have a high quality training on it. Firms, governments, and institutions are slowly taking a turn towards greener economic models and lifestyles. Thus, in the future, there will be demand for jobs in sustainability. An example of a new mobility program is that as a student will choose which of the 5 cities we would like to prefer to do the modules or phases that we have chosen. Besides traditional mobility, as my colleague Lucy was talking about, there will also be virtual mobility. That means if I'm, for instance, studying in Barcelona, I can at the same time join a virtual module from Dublin or from Montpellier. And last but not least, there will also be blended mobility, which combines both of them. Inclusivity is also on the spotlight, and it will be guaranteed in all 5 universities. So again, me as a student and my colleagues would like to encourage all of you, regarding any condition you might have, to ask for the program, and there is for sure place for you here in CharmEU. To finance mobility, just to let you know that there will be available grants both from CharmEU and also from the Erasmus Plus program, especially the physical mobility, which is naturally the most costly one. Regarding innovation, as my colleague said, it will be guaranteed, but we as the students would like to focus in the new evaluation system, which will have 360 degrees vision on our performance as students, and will take into account all the activities that we develop. It will be a new way of evaluate us, leaving behind the traditional all-in that we have to go now to an exam, and if for whatever reason we have a bad day and we don't do a well performance, we can even fail subject. This will be history, and with the new evaluation system, we'll have all our performance will be taken into account, and from different perspectives, from all the actors that will be involved. Teamwork also will be vital. At the end of the day, once we leave college, we'll have to work in teams in firms or enterprises or institutions as well. So for these reasons, we would like to focus that the evaluation system is something new. It's tailor-made for students and thinking in our academic benefits. Just to finish, to say that given the structure of the program, it will be usual to mix both theory and practice, since we will need to go into action to solve the global challenges. So all the theory that we will be learning will be applied straight away. And finally, I would just like to add that CharmU is an initiative created for the students, and that we have been successful in prioritizing our rights. We know the insecurities that we as students face, as we also do have them, in terms of career opportunities, innovation, international mobility, etc. So we are aware of this. And again, we as students encourage you to read more about CharmU, and please feel free to ask all of us anything that any doubt you may have. We are here to help you. Thank you. That would be all.
Thank you, Eugenia. That was great. I love your enthusiasm and your big picture, and you've really thought about it from the perspective of the student. Any concerns they might have about the evaluation and assessment and how this is changing. I've been a student. I have students in my family here. You've talked about the mobility there, the opportunity for mobility grants. You talked about inclusion, and you talked about the student voice, the student at the center, having that strong voice. Thank you. You really did a great job. And I'm sure the students admire you and admire your commitment and your enthusiasm for the program, because I know you've been working with us, and you've seen all the different aspects and the work that has gone into the program to make it the best program it can be and student-centered. Thank you so much. Lovely. We're going to go on now, move on to Meritxell, who's also based at the University of Barcelona. Good morning, Meritxell. And Meritxell is the expert who is the glue, I like to say, that holds us all together. Meritxell is going to talk to you about, how do I apply? What do I have to do to get into this great master's program? Meritxell has all the details for you. And afterwards, I'm sure if you have questions, we'll have questions and answers after Meritxell. So Meritxell is going to give you now, how do I get into this great program? Will tell us about the admissions. Thank you, Meritxell. We can't hear you, Meritxell.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you go for the next slide, Christine? Please, thank you. So, as Catherine said, some practicalities about the program. So you can apply already. The applications are open. We will have a first deadline in 15th of April to make a resolution at the end of April. And if there are vacancies, we will open again in May. Okay, so you have apply now. Don't wait for May, because we will only open if there are vacancies. The requirements for the access are only two. You have a bachelor or an equivalent degree, and the English, okay? And we ask for a C1 or equivalent. You can find in the website the admissions rules and the table of equivalence. And we can make an exception if you have already a B2, okay? But you will need to get the upper level before registration. So these are the requirements. I think you don't hear me well.
No, your sound is not good, Meritxell. Do you have the microphone there?
Yeah, it's better now. Not much.
Sometimes good, sometimes bad.
Okay, so I will try to. It's a matter of the sound, or it's a matter of the volume?
It's varying. It's going up and down.
Okay.
If you sit closer, maybe sit closer.
It's better now?
Yes, a little.
Yeah, a little bit better?
Little, yes.
Okay. So I was saying what the access requirements, and once you have these requirements, you are going to be through a selection criteria. You can see that there are 100 points that you can obtain. So the grade mark is not so important for us, okay? And we think that you can have other capacities and abilities. We are going to assess your general academic competencies that you have here, orientations through an essay and through a video and through your CV, your bio, and personal competence, also looking for these type of things that we are going to are with our values, your commitment, your interculturality. And we reserve 10 points for inclusion aspects. Okay, so people that have some disadvantage or are from underrepresented communities can obtain these 10 points. Okay, so this is the idea. So in the application form, you need to upload your CV, your grade, your English certification, your essay. There is an essay. You have orientation in the web page on how to write it. You have to upload a link with a video. You have questions to answer in that video that are also in the web page. So you have there and here, of course, you can send us all your questions if you have any. If you go to the next one, please. So the tuition fees is 3,000 euros for 90 CTS, so for 1.5 academic year. So this is the total fee you are going to pay. And we have estimated the cost of mobility around 2,200 euros. Of course, without counting with the Erasmus grants that can reduce this cost. We also have the equivalent amount of for 15 grants, full grants, sorry. And the applicants need to check if you are eligible for other grants before going for that. So, for example, in Spain, there's some people can access to the national grant. So this is the first thing you need to check, and then if not, just apply to the CHAMU grant. This was from my part. I prefer that to leave time for the questions for the people. So thank you very much, Catherine.
Thank you, Marichel. Sorry that your sound was a bit variable. So just to conclude, what you were saying there is that the admissions is open now. It closes on the 15th of April. People can apply now. They can include their essay, their CV, and their video, their official documents they can upload later. If they're offered the place, but they'll be assessed on the basis of their video, their brief essay, and their CV. And you also said that, it's not about how well you did in your primary degree, it's about your commitment to the program. And we'll see on our website the details of that and how the application is geared towards that. Thank you, Marichel. That was very useful. And all of this will be available on YouTube and on Facebook afterwards, so people can check the detail. Marichel, are you open to take some questions from the floor now?
Yes, of course.
So I see we have some questions. People were asking about the social aspect. How can we have some social aspect given that we're across 5 universities? They've been asking about the interdisciplinarity. Nicole, do you have some questions for us?
I think there is one that I can take.
Okay.
So,
I see a question there from Sophia. How will the general academic competencies be evaluated? From Sophia.
Meaning the admissions, I understand. So this would be assessed by the academic admission board, and we will take this essay that you will do and the video Okay, so it will come from this. You have orientations in the website about what are we going to assess in each competence. Okay, so you can see it's not a rubric, but it's an orientation of what are the characteristics we are going to assess.
Great. So that will be from the brief video. It's 3 or 4 minutes, and the essay and the CV. Another question from Roos Selman. I'm studying spatial planning. Are there potential themes during the masters that are related to this? I think I saw a response there from Jake in the text. Jake, would you like to answer that question, please?
Yeah, I did. I think I addressed them in the comments. Yeah, I think there'd be definitely opportunities. Particularly, I could see them in the water theme and the food theme. I think there definitely could be use of that knowledge in that space, and I think it could be a good contribution to the teamwork and projects in that space.
Absolutely. And I might add to that, certainly also within the health area, spatial planning is becoming more and more important in terms of delivery of services, the placing of services, and, the distribution of populations. So certainly it's a great background, spatial planning. So thank you for the question, and thank you, Jake. Another question here from Jasmine. Hello, are internships part of the program? Who would like to answer that? Mobility, perhaps. Lucy, would you be able to answer that question for us, please?
Yes, of course. Thank you. So we are just talking with colleagues who are designing the capstone phase, and we see that internships might be part of the last phase. Nevertheless, there is an option for doing an internship after the studies with the help of the Erasmus Plus grants. So we are just thinking about a mix of having challenge-based learning opportunities during the capstone, but also provide you as future CHARMU students to continue in their internships after you obtained your master's degree. So hopefully you will be able to experience both of these internships inside the program and following the one.
Thank you, Lucy. Nicole, do we have any other questions? Tessa, if you still finish up your bachelor's, if you're still finishing up your bachelor's, this lady's now writing up her thesis, will you be taken into account when submitting your academic record? Marichelle, would you like to answer that? So somebody is still studying for their bachelor's at the moment.
I think it would be the case of many of you. So we will consider your grades until now. So in your certificate, we will not have the final grade mark. We will use your mark now, and you will be admitted in a conditional way. So when you produce your degree, you will be fully admitted. Okay? Yes, we're going to consider you.
Yes, so we expect many people to be studying at their bachelor's now, and we will take that into account because we're also assessed on their video and their essay. So they can be offered, as you said, Marichelle, a conditional place. So thank you, Marichelle, for that. Limi, sorry, I can't see the name very well. Will Charm EU help with finding accommodation in the different cities? And is there also funding for this? Marichelle, would you be able to answer that, please?
This is a little bit different in each campus because accommodation in each city is not the same. Some of our universities has hostels for students, for example, others don't. But we are going to help you to find that. So if we have not these facilities, we can help you to find something in the city. And it can be fun if you get a new grant. Okay.
We didn't hear that last part about the grant, Marichelle.
The funding, it can be funded if you get a grant from CHARM.
Oh, yes, of course. So we have some grants to offer and people can apply for that grant as well. Thank you, Marichelle. We have another question here. When applying, you get an option to propose you are part of an underrepresented group. That's correct in the inclusivity. How do I interpret this? Is it based on social variables, field of study, or something else? So, this is from perhaps Agnes on inclusivity. Would you like to answer that, please?
Yes, thank you so much for the question. So we look these backgrounds quite holistically, and there will be a space for disclosure at the application form. And of course, it's a personal right and the choice to disclose or not to disclose. And we will also take into account your circumstances. And this is always like a little bit of written explanation and also justification in terms of documentation.
Thank you, Agnes. Another question, I think it's from Esther. Are there options or specific challenges for students with studying disabilities? For example, ADD, attention deficit disorder. So are there options or specific challenges for students with studying disabilities? Again, should I give that to you, Agnes?
Yes, thank you. So there is, we are welcoming students with disabilities to take part in our program, and we create also the support provisions for all of the students. And what we would like to do is that in the beginning, we would like to have like a needs assessment. So it means that we can cater the needs of the students. So again, with respect of disclosure, data protection, and all these things. So once we know that how we can cater your needs, then we are ready. And also we are designing our educational environment as inclusive as possible during like the courses and internships and so on.
Thank you, Agnes. Do we have any further questions? So from Eileen, in what way will the students be able to evaluate or give feedback on the program? How will this feedback be processed? That's an interesting question. Marichelle, perhaps you could answer that.
I think you hear me better now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so it's a pity that Jake is leaving now, because I think it was a good question for him. It's very important, your feedback, because we are creating something new, very innovative, and the Commission is expecting us to evaluate everything that we do. So you are part of the co-creation of this program, and we are going to ask you a lot during the program. What do you think?
So there will be opportunities for feedback, and that will be fed back into the program.
Yeah, and this will go also to the Commission to evaluate our program. So the European Commission will be one of the target of this report.
That's a really good point to remind people that this is a program funded by the Commission, and that they are watching to make sure we do a good job and that our students are taken good care of, and that the program is actually going to be evaluated not only by CHARM, but also being reported back to the European Commission. So thank you, Marichelle, for reminding us of that. Any further questions? Jasmine again. Hello. About the tuition fees. I've been studying at the University of Montpellier for several years, but I'm not an EU citizen. How much will the fees be?
Yeah, in this case, the increase is very high. It's 19,000 euros for 1.5 years, because we have not the possibility to get public funding on that.
Because it's an EU program, so there's EU fees and non-EU fees. And so the non-EU fees is 1919, is that correct?
Yeah.
19,000, thank you. Any other questions? Limi. What will the relationship be with the university we are at and the university there? Say you are in Utrecht, can you take classes from the normal master's program offered there, or student associations?
Okay, so I cannot answer if you can take classes or not in Utrecht concretely, but what I can say is that you will be a student, full student of the 5 universities. Okay, so for you it would be the same if you are in Utrecht or if you are in Barcelona, or you start in Utrecht and come to Barcelona. Everyone would be student of the 5 institutions with all the rights.
Excellent. Isn't that amazing, having all of the opportunities from the 5 universities? And I can just say, from the Trinity perspective, if you're a student of Trinity, no matter what course you're doing, you have the opportunity for all of the other courses, you know, the free courses or the support courses. So you will be a student of Trinity and all of the other universities as well. So you have the opportunity for the 5 universities. Thank you. This is from Sophia. What kind of language certificates will you accept? I have taken IELTS in 2017. Will that be accepted, or do I need to retake the test? So the test was taken in 2017.
It will be accepted.
Great. No worries there, Sophia. You'll be accepted on that for that language.
There is a question in the chat, Nicole, that say, will we have to be based in one of the 5 campus? Yes. You are expected when you go through the application, you are going to be asked to rank where do you want to start, okay? Because you will start in one place for phase 1, and then you can move to other places, okay? But we need to know where do you want to start. And we will try to keep your first option, and if not possible, the second. I think it's there are more questions, Nicole?
Are there any sports, cultural, etc. student associations for the Charm EU students?
As I said, you will be part of the student association of every university and to the sports and cultural, because we want that Charm EU, it's a specific learning experience for you, for the students of Charm EU, but at the same time that you get mixed with the university you are placed at each phase. So we combine both.
Fabulous. Maricha, will I leave you look after the questions? Yeah,
Okay.
they're fabulous questions. Thank you, everybody. We have some great questions there, and I'm going to let Marichel take care of the questions. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you.
So, Nicole, we have most. Is there an overview of professors that will be facilitating the CHAM courses project? Yeah, we will publish this in May. If you want an overview of, we can add to the website who is coordinating its module, because now we are in the process of, we have recruited the academic staff in our 5 universities, so you will have academic staff from the 5 universities in each module normally, and we will, but we need to specify during this month and 1st of May who is going to teach what. But we will add the coordinators, so you'll have a flavor of, or a list of all the teachers that can be participating, okay? Another question, do you have a waiver for English language for students who have their studies in English? Yes, I think this is one of the possibilities of exception, or English nationality, or having studies in previous studies in English. You need to just to justify it and bring some evidence about that. More questions, Nicole? Robert, I have attended the meeting later. Excuse me if I am asking the same question. I am studying a master medicine. It is possible to take a flexible approach in studying 2 masters. I would say that for this, you mean, I understand that you want to keep both or to do it simultaneously. I'm not sure if you will be able to maintain the load of both. okay? Because this is designed as a full-time master. More questions, Nicola, or no? So if there are no more questions, I imagine. So I want to thank all of you to come to this session. I hope that it has been interesting and that you get the information you expected, and also to all the speakers for transmitting so enthusiastic speech with you. Okay, so thank you very much. Please go to the website and you will see and help us improve. Please let us know if there is something missing and we will improve the webpage. Thank you very much.